What do my boogies say about me? What's going on, Secoya Health, actually, with today's Daily Insights. But first, a little joke for you. How do you make a Kleenex dance? A little nod to my wife here. You put a little boogie in it. Okay? If you don't know what a boogie is, it's a booger. Okay? So this is inspired by Nissa and her question about what boogies mean, because everybody's all boogery and like snot-faced and, I don't know. It's the holidays, right? Not a lot of vitamin D from the sun, not a lot of activity. People are hunkering down because it's, snowmageddon and freezing and stuff like that. But your boogers tell you a lot, okay? People tend to think, I'm getting sick, or I am sick, or, whatever they might think. But your boogers can tell you a lot. So, for example, congestion without boogers, that's, also one option, is coming from maybe mold or fungus or a lack of lymph flow. You're just really swollen. People call it rhinitis, or they think they have a sinus infection. Don't have a sinus infection. You got some congestion, something stinks, something's offensive, things you can't change. Look to those first. So let's start off with clear snot. Let's say you got a drippy nose. Think about liver. Think about liver drainage. Think about lymphatic stagnation. Look for tender spots in your neck. Look for tender spots on your chest or in your groin, stuff like that, where you have a bunch of different lymph points. That'll tell you whether you have lymphatic drainage. But if it's clear, support your liver. Okay, get some milk thistle, some turmeric, things like that. We got the tools if you need them. Let's move on to green and yellow. Okay, that's pretty much a combination. They're kind of different stages. Typically, we think about bacterial stuff. But if you think about a booger, what's the purpose of a booger? A booger's job is to collect airborne irritants like dust, and if your immune system it's working on balancing some microbes in the nasal cavity, what it's doing is there's these things called mast cells, and imagine like a Slimer from Ghostbusters, and they break down, they dump all this crap on there, and then it ends up hardening, right? So this is your immune system's attempt or its mechanism to collect whatever the irritant is so it doesn't get breathed into your nose, down your trachea, and into your lungs, which is a much more complex environment. But you have mucus lining on the inside of your entire gut. Like if you pulled out your esophagus and your anus and stretched it, it's a long ways. It's like half a badminton court. Not that you want that visual, but it's all grease. It's all mucus lined. So mucus and boogers are one form because they harden in your nose. But think of it the same thing as mucus. It's throughout your whole body. Okay. People think that it's a bad thing, like, oh, I'm all boogery, or you see a kid dripping their nose, stuff like that. But that's normal. That's completely normal. In fact, if you didn't, you would be, I hate to use the word at risk. Your mucous membrane is a line of protection between the outside of the body and the inside of the body, because everything's measured. Everything's about balancing your body. So, if you have green or yellow boogers, just know that your body's using some bacteria to help heal something. Okay, because bacteria help you heal. They're not your enemies. If Wim Hof, little nod to Wim Hof, if he can inject E. coli into his bloodstream and not go into septic failure in his body, E. coli is not a bad thing. Example, E. coli, people say, oh, I got a UTI. They check my cultures and I have E. coli. Well, I hate to break it to you, but you've got E. coli all over your body, in your body. And if you think about babies, like I have a daughter who, probably watching this, when girls poop their diaper, poop doesn't just like sit outside of their butt, out of their anus, and just sit there. It goes everywhere if you ever change a diaper. So the idea that, oh, we have E. coli in our bladder and it came from, you got to wipe, front to back and instead of back to front. All these things you hear, right? Any woman can attest to this. They've heard it. But it's not the bacteria, it's the problem. Your body creates, if there's if there's an elevated level of E. coli bacteria in your urine, your body's using that E. coli to help heal something in your bladder or in your kidney or something like that. So not to get too far down a far field here, but I could go on for hours. Emma's giving me like, oh God, don't do it. So just understand that bacteria are playing a role. Mold and fungus break down and collect and recycle dead tissue, so they serve a purpose as well. Viruses are made by your cells, by your exosomes. They're actually considered exosomes, but they're made by your stem cells and the other immune cells in your body to help heal your body. All of this stuff is conspiring for you. There are not good things and bad things. They're not, something that's opportunistic and attacking you. Like boogers aren't bad. Like I don't recommend you pick them and eat them like a lot of kids do, but what are you going to do, right? It's not going to hurt you. Your body's already created the immune response. So just know your boogers are your friends. Somebody I know who else is probably watching, she used to pick her nose and put them on her sister's side of the nightstand as a joke. And you know who you are. And so boogers are fine. Boogers are not bad, but if you understand that clear, runny, drippy nose is more like liver and lymph, green and yellow boogers are more going to be bacterial. Absence of boogers, but in chronic congestion and inflammation of the sinus, sinusitis, is going to be more like mold and fungus. Even the Mayo Clinic, world famous, said that most sinus infections are actually fungal, not bacterial. So before you run off to your nurse practitioner, your physician's assistant, or your MD, or whoever you go see, and ask for an antibiotic because you got a sinus infection, stop. Because even if Mayo can identify it as mold and fungus, and the natural world has known that for a long time, take it from me. Don't get an antibiotic. You're just going to end up trashing your gut more than it already is from all the refined foods you're eating. So hopefully that's not you. Anyway, I will cut myself off here and wish you all a Merry Christmas. I'll see you tomorrow, but it is my last day in the clinic this week, and so I will see you tomorrow from a different environment. All right, have a great night. Bye-bye.